Hey everyone, welcome to Reality TV News Update, the place where we bring you the latest updates, fun moments, and behind-the-scenes stories you won't want to miss. Keanu stood in the center of the Big Brother stage under blinding lights and roaring applause as his name echoed through the studio, America's favorite houseguest. The moment felt unreal, even as the proof glowed across the massive screen behind him. For weeks, fans had watched his every move, his patience, his kindness, his strategic risks, and his quiet resilience. Now, the season was over, and Keanu was no longer just a house guest, he was a fan-chosen champion. As he lifted his hands in disbelief, his voice cracked with gratitude and shock. He said he never imagined this outcome when he first walked through those famous doors, carrying nothing but nerves and hope. In that moment, he was not thinking about strategy or alliance fallout, or even prize money. He was thinking about his family watching from home and the strangers who believed in him enough to vote him into this place of honor. Inside the house, Keanu had carved out a reputation as the calm in the storm. While other players shouted, plotted, and burned bridges, he listened. He moved with intention. He chose empathy when chaos ruled the room. Fans quickly gravitated to his grounded nature and his habit of speaking honestly, even when it put him at risk. He began as an underdog, placed on the outskirts of early power structures. His first weeks were a struggle, marked by near evictions and whispered discussions about his threat level. Instead of fighting with bitterness, he fought with grace. He won critical competitions when his back was against the wall, and saved allies who later saved him in return. His story became one of steady growth rather than explosive dominance. Viewers saw themselves in his fear and determination. That connection carried him far beyond the jury phase and straight into the hearts of America. Keanu often spoke during live feeds about how surreal the entire experience felt. He admitted that isolation tested him in ways he never predicted. The long nights with nothing but his thoughts forced him to confront old doubts and insecurities. He revealed struggles with feeling overlooked in his real life and how the game mirrored those fears at times. Yet each time he felt invisible, another moment would arrive to pull him back into visibility. A surprising competition win, a moving conversation, a decision that shifted the house dynamic. Those moments taught him to trust his instincts and believe his voice mattered. Fans watching at home saw that transformation unfold in real time. They watched a man learn to stand firm in who he was, without hardening his heart. That journey made his victory as America's favorite house guest feel earned and deeply personal. When the finale wrapped and interviews began, Keanu appeared stunned by the scale of public support. He said the messages flooded in the second his phone returned to his hands. Thousands of strangers thanked him for being kind. Others said they inspired them to face their own fears. Some said they simply liked seeing someone play without cruelty. Keanu admitted that reading those messages left him speechless and emotional in ways he was not prepared for. He emphasized that he never entered the game trying to be a hero, he entered trying to survive. The kindness came naturally because it was already part of who he was. That honesty resonated even more with fans who valued authenticity over spectacle. In a world drawn to loud villains and flashy masterminds, Keanu proved that quiet strength could still capture attention and admiration. With his season behind him, a new question quickly began to follow him everywhere he went. Would he take on the challenge next? The idea excited fans and skeptics alike. The challenge is known for brutal physical tests, ruthless politics, and an environment far less forgiving than the Big Brother house. When asked about the possibility, Keanu laughed softly and admitted that the thought both thrilled and terrified him. He said Big Brother pushed him emotionally and socially in ways he never expected. The challenge would push his body to its limits and then some. Still, he did not rule it out. He said that if the opportunity came and the timing felt right, he would seriously consider stepping into that world. He described it as a different battlefield, one that would require a faster pace, tougher alliances, and a willingness to embrace physical punishment along with social strategy. Fans immediately began debating how Keanu would fare in such an arena. Some believed his calm demeanor would struggle against competitors who thrive on confrontation and intimidation. Others argued that his social intelligence could give him a powerful edge. On the challenge, relationships can be as important as raw strength. Trust can carry someone farther than brute force. Keanu has already proven that he knows how to earn trust without manipulation. He also surprised critics with his physical performance inside the Big Brother house. While not known as the strongest player, he consistently outperformed expectations in endurance and balance challenges. Those skills translate well to many of the grueling tasks featured on the challenge. His biggest test would likely come in head-to-head eliminations, where aggression often decides the winner. Whether Keanu could shift into that mindset remains an open question. Keanu himself speaks about competition with a thoughtful perspective. He says he doesn't want to become someone he doesn't recognize just to win another show. He values growth, but not at the expense of integrity. He acknowledges that reality competition television rewards ruthlessness at times, but he believes there is space to compete fiercely without losing compassion. That philosophy guided him through Big Brother, and he believes it would guide him through any future game as well. Still, he admits that every environment changes you. If he were to step on the challenge, he knows he would have to evolve. He would have to train harder, fight harder, and make faster decisions with far greater consequences. That prospect excites him because it represents another opportunity to test the limits of who he is and who he might become. Since his win, Keanu's life has shifted dramatically in subtle and overwhelming ways. He now walks through airports and grocery stores recognized by strangers who call his name with smiles and congratulations. He has been invited to podcasts, charity events, and fan conventions across the country. Each appearance reminds him that his story no longer belongs to him alone. It belongs to everyone who saw themselves in his journey. Despite the sudden attention, he remains grounded. He still speaks about his family as his anchor and his reminder of reality beyond television. He talks about returning to simple routines like morning coffee and evening walks. These rituals help him separate fame from identity. He insists that while the game changed his life, it did not change his values. He still wants to build a future based on stability, creativity, and meaningful connection. Behind the scenes, industry insiders have quietly taken notice of Keanu's potential. Producers admire contestants who can carry a narrative without manufactured drama. Casting directors are drawn to people who feel real on screen, and Keanu embodies that quality. Whether it becomes the challenge or another reality series entirely, his path forward seems full of possibility. Some speculate that he could transition into hosting or motivational speaking, given his natural ability to communicate with sincerity. Others imagine him returning for an all-star season of Big Brother, where veteran players face one another with reputations on the line. Keanu doesn't commit to any one direction publicly. He says he wants time to breathe, to reflect, and to make decisions without the pressure of cameras and contracts looming over him. At the heart of it all, Keanu's victory as America's favorite houseguest represents something larger than a single season of reality television. It represents a moment where viewers chose kindness over cruelty and connection over chaos. It signals a hunger for authenticity in a genre often driven by spectacle. Keanu did not dominate with power alliances or ruthless blindsides. He won hearts by listening, by standing up when it counted, and by staying true to himself when it would have been easier to harden his heart. As fans speculate about the challenge and whatever comes next, one thing remains certain. Keanu has already achieved a rare kind of victory. He left the house not just with a title, but with the collective admiration of millions. Whether he takes on another competition or chooses a quieter path, his story will remain one of resilience, humility, and quiet strength.
The stage lights as the announcement echoed through the studio and into homes across the country. America's favorite houseguest. The title felt unreal as the crowd erupted around him and his hands trembled with disbelief. Throughout the season, viewers watched his quiet resolve, steady kindness, and thoughtful gameplay unfold in real time. He never entered the house expecting this outcome, and in that moment, he struggled to find words. He spoke about gratitude and about the people who believed in him when he doubted himself. The victory was not about money or status for him. It was about being seen and feeling understood by millions who chose him as their favorite. From the beginning, Keanu was never the loudest voice in the room. He entered the game as an observer, learning dynamics before making waves. While others rushed into alliances and dramatic confrontations, he focused on building real connections. He listened more than he spoke, and when he spoke, his words carried weight. That approach placed him on the outskirts of power early in the season. There were weeks when his name floated dangerously close to eviction. Each time he survived, he grew more confident in his instincts. He learned to trust that being genuine could be as powerful as aggressive strategy. Keanu's journey inside the house was filled with personal challenges beyond competition wins and losses. Isolation pressed heavily on him during long, late-night conversations with the walls and cameras. He admitted on live feeds that self-doubt followed him into the game and often whispered that he did not belong. Instead of letting those thoughts consume him, he used them as fuel to stay present and intentional. He showed vulnerability in a way rare on competitive reality television. That vulnerability built trust and deeper bonds with fellow houseguests and with viewers at home. His competition performances surprised nearly everyone, including himself. While never billed as a physical powerhouse, he proved resilient in endurance challenges and precise under pressure. One key victory shifted his position in the house and earned him respect from both allies and rivals. That win marked the point when others stopped viewing him as easy to discard. From that moment forward, his survival was no longer based solely on goodwill, but on earned credibility as a competitor. He balanced strategy with loyalty and never lost sight of his values, even when major decisions loomed. By the time the jury stage arrived, Keanu had transformed from a background player into a central emotional anchor of the season. Evicted house guests often cited his kindness and fairness as reasons they felt at peace with their exits. In a game built on betrayal, that reputation carried unexpected weight. When the season neared its end, fans began to rally behind him, not simply because he played well, but because he played clean. Social media buzz grew louder with each passing week, and by finale night, his name dominated conversations about America's favorite houseguest. After the finale ended and the cheers faded, Keanu stepped into a world that felt entirely different from the one he entered months earlier. His phone flooded with messages from viewers who said his journey gave them hope, courage, and comfort. He read stories of people who felt overlooked in their own lives and saw themselves in his quiet persistence. The realization that his experience mattered to so many others overwhelmed him. He said the support changed his understanding of what success truly means. It was no longer just about surviving a game, but about touching lives in unexpected ways. Almost immediately, a new question followed him into every interview. Is the challenge next? The idea of stepping into a competition known for its brutal physical tests, fierce rivalries, and unforgiving eliminations sparked equal parts excitement and fear. Keanu admitted that Big Brother tested his mind and heart, but the challenge would test his body at a level he had never faced. He did not dismiss the possibility. He said if the call came and the timing aligned, he would have to think deeply about whether he was ready for that kind of transformation. Fans quickly began imagining how Keanu might perform in that high-intensity environment. Some wondered if his calm nature would clash with the aggressive tone of veteran challengers. Others believed his social awareness and emotional intelligence could become powerful weapons. The challenge is not won by strength alone. Politics, loyalty, and timing often decide who reaches the final. Keanu already understands those elements deeply. His biggest shift would be learning to embrace physical confrontation and faster decision-making without losing the core of who he is. Keanu speaks often about integrity and how he defines winning beyond trophies and titles. He believes growth should not require abandoning compassion. That belief guided every move he made inside the Big Brother house. If he were to join the challenge, he knows the environment would demand change. He would need to train harder, push through pain, and accept that kindness is not always rewarded in such a ruthless arena. Still, he sees that potential path as another opportunity to learn and evolve, rather than simply to compete. Life after Big Brother has been a series of silent surprises for Keanu. Strangers recognize him in everyday places and share how his story affected them. Invitations arrive from podcasts, events, and charity organizations that want him to speak about resilience and authenticity. Despite the attention, he works to protect his sense of normal life. He returns to familiar routines like morning coffee, evening walks, and conversations with family that remind him who he was before the cameras followed his every move. He says those moments keep him grounded amid the noise. Industry voices have noticed him as well. Casting teams value contestants who carry real emotion onto the screen without forced drama. Keanu's ability to connect feels natural and rare. While the challenge remains the most talked about possibility, other doors could open just as easily. Some imagine him returning for an all-star season of Big Brother, where veterans clash with reputations on the line. Others see a future in hosting or storytelling where his calm presence could guide conversations with depth and sincerity. Keanu remains open, but undecided. At its heart, Keanu's victory as America's favorite houseguest represents a quiet shift in what audiences celebrate. In a genre built on chaos, viewers chose empathy. In a space that often rewards cruelty, they rewarded consistency and heart. Keanu did not dominate by tearing others down. He won by lifting people up while still fighting to survive. Whether he steps into the challenge arena or chooses a different path entirely, his impact is already etched into the season. His story stands as proof that strength does not always roar. Sometimes it speaks softly and endures when everything else fades.